So you know, in this course, you've gotten pretty much all you need to know about you know, how to do it, the how-to. But then you know, it's kind of up to you to whether or not you want to do it. And following the rules, you know, we're not. Most people who show up at something like this aren't really good at following the rules. You probably wouldn't be here if you were good at following the rules. No, really. I mean, you know, the rules in this culture are like, why would you spend a Thursday night, you know, wasting your time at the Chinese Cultural Center when you could be home watching television? Those are the rules, you know. Why would you waste your time trying to learn anything about spirituality when you could be, you know, working or buying? Which is kind of the rules. Those are the rules. Working, buying, and entertaining. Those are the three rules. Thou shalt work your ass off. In order to buy a lot, thou shalt buy as much as possible. And keep buying. Please don't stop buying, because that would just ruin our economy if everyone stopped buying all of a sudden. And thou shalt, like, in your spare time, entertain yourself all the time, because that's what we do in our spare time. We watch TV, and we watch movies, and we surf the internet and stuff like that. So, yeah, you know, the rules, we're not really good at following the rules, and that's a very good thing. That part of us is a very good feature of being willing to go against the grain. And a spiritual practitioner definitely has to go against the grain in this culture. Definitely. And so, you know, but that as usual, the very thing that, you know, could be very, very helpful can be very, very detrimental. So, you know, when you hear the rules that are actually in your interest instead of the ones that aren't. The ones that aren't in your interest are work your ass off until you get old and die, so you can buy stuff that you'll all lose at the end. It'll break before you lose it anyway, probably. And then just like mindlessly entertain yourself. Those are silly rules. See, those are rules not worth paying much attention to. But when you hear rules that would pay off for your happiness, then the old resistance has to go. And you know, a new kind of affirmation has to go. So instead of saying no, you have to start saying yes. So it's kind of hard for us to get our, you know, kind of like lips around different words like that. You know, like many of us have said no for a long, long time, and that's good. I mean, you know, just say no. Like Nancy Reagan said, right? Just say no. Just say no. No, I don't want to just like live my life meaninglessly, consuming and entertaining and working. No. But then we have to like, so no. Yeah. We have to learn how to say yes when we hear the rules that will pay off. So in these classes, we've been teaching the rules that will pay off, and then it's up to you to follow them or not. But you know, you will never follow any rules unless you see them in your self-interest. We are driven by our self-interest. We are totally driven by our self-interest. At pretty much every level of our being, we are worried about ourselves. And so, you know, there's no sense in kind of fighting that like altogether. I mean, we've got to fight it a little bit at a time. Or realizing that our self-interest at one level is the problem, you know, is kind of important. But also realizing that there's a kind of a self-interest that can get us to the realization that self-interest is our problem. Enlightened self-interest. It is in our self-interest to realize that self-interest is the problem. Okay? It is in our self-interest to realize that living a more compassionate, generous, loving, altruistic life would be in our self-interest. See? And so, you know, so enlightened self-interest is different from unenlightened self-interest. Enlightened self-interest is what's going to pay off for me in the ultimate way, in the highest way. And that's a spiritual life. The spiritual life is designed to provide your ultimate self-interest, your highest self-interest, which is happiness, ultimate happiness, deep-seated happiness, different from the kind of, you know, pleasure-seeking that secular life offers. Deep-seated happiness, contentment, which is, you know, as I said before many times, the opposite of the goal of the ideology that we live in. The opposite of the goal of the ideology that we live under is contentment. In other words, the ideology that we live under keeps us discontent all the time. That's consumer capitalism, in case you didn't know. In case you were wondering, you know, why you're sort of like always sort of vaguely unhappy is, it's not just your fault. It is your fault, but it's not just your fault. It's exacerbated at every turn. You see, we're all encouraged to be discontent. All the time, discouraged. Encouraged to be discontent. To always want more, to always have to buy more, to always want another vacation and so forth. So, being a spiritual practitioner means to be a rebel. It means to be a rebel. But a rebel with a cause, you see. Most of us have been rebels without a cause for most of our lives. If you found yourself wandering into the Chinese Cultural Center on Thursday night to hear some joker talk about Buddhism, you've had some background in rebellion. Okay, you've had some preconditioning in saying no and fighting the power and so forth. But then you have to sort of realize, well, that's gotten me so far, but that very thing can turn on me. Just saying no and just being a rebel without a cause for all my life will not work out either. So be a rebel, but be a rebel with a cause. And the motive, there's two motives. There's only two motives for being in a class like this, for coming to a class like this, and they turn out pretty much to be the same motive. Wanting to be happy yourself so that you can really help others be happy. Those are really the same motive. You can't help others be happy until you're happy yourself. It's impossible. Impossible. So, sometimes I get a lot of blowback when it comes to happiness sometimes from people. Like, sometimes verbally and a lot of times, with the look. I get the look, like I was talking about happiness again. And I'm suspicious of that. You see, there's a suspicion about happiness. And it's really interesting to figure out why that is. Why is there a suspicion about happiness? And I think, you can start with the fact that we have been conditioned in our culture to pursue our happiness. We've been conditioned, and we realize it doesn't work, you see. But it's a different kind of happiness. It's the happiness that is, promised in a new car or a bigger house or a better, promotion at the job or something like that. And we have thought that is the pursuit of happiness. And so some part of us knows that that's a dead end. So when you hear somebody talk about, your goal in life is to be happy, well, I already been trying that. I already did that. Been there, done that. And it didn't work out. And well, that's right. But you did, first of all, we were pursuing happiness in the wrong way. And second of all, we didn't know what happiness is. So first of all, you have to realize, well, let's do it the other way around. First of all, let's think about what happiness is. Happiness is not just getting another spike in the pleasure, graph, right? It's not just another thing or another experience or another relationship or another, promotion to the job or another, Lonely Planet vacation. See, that's not happiness. Those are just like pleasures, little pleasures. And the nature of the pleasure is that they will wear out and leave you dissatisfied again. Always wanting more, always wanting more. So happiness is a deep-seated contentment, a deep-seated satisfaction, no matter what the vicissitudes of the outer world have to bring to you today. You're just chillaxed all day long. That's real happiness. Wouldn't that be nice? You see, who's not in favor of that? How could you not be in favor of that? You see. So if there's some part, and there is some part of each and every one of us that resists even that kind of understanding of happiness. That, I think, is what we call evil. That is evil. That is the devil. That's exactly the devil. It's a self-destructive streak that we all have, and we justify it in all kinds of ways. We say, no, happiness is trivial. Happiness is a trivial goal. I am a more serious person than that. I know that there must be a more serious, deeper goal than happiness. Well, tell me what it is. You say, what? You say, well, I'll think of it later. You say, doesn't matter. Right now, the devil doesn't deal with logic. You see? So, it's selfish to be happy. That's a devil looking like an angel. That's a devil that's looking like an angel. No, it's selfish to be happy. Why you're so selfish? You always want to just be happy. And you go, well, how am I ever going to be less selfish until I stop worrying about myself because I'm okay? You see, when you're okay, you don't have to worry about yourself. When you're happy, you You don't have to be selfish anymore. You see? Right? Then you can make space for it. So you gotta fight the devil. You gotta, have the devil and the angel thing do their little debate, and debate the devil. Debate every instinct in you that's mitigating against realizing in this life, as soon as possible, this deep-seated happiness and contentment that is your destiny, and that is the condition of possibility of you doing anything good for anyone else. You see? Condition of possibility. Now, that being said, how are you going to get to that happiness? By doing something good for someone else. Okay? So the way to get to the happiness where you can really do something good for someone else is to start doing something good for somebody else. You see? In the kind of ways that we can do, right? To stop worrying about yourself all the time and worry about somebody else is a secret of life. And little by little by little, you will become a happier person and a kind of a person that can do more for other people. Because you have less time to worry about yourself. Because you're feeling better and better. Right? Happy people are kind people. Happy people are compassionate people. Unhappy people are angry people. Unhappy people bomb other people's countries. Unhappy people run airplanes into other people's buildings. Those are not happy people. Right? Happy people are loving. Happy people are kind. Happy people just want to get along with everyone else. So yeah, happy people just want to have a nice day, and want you to have a nice day too. So wouldn't that be better? Wouldn't that be a better way to live?